The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
Gold for Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy. The Skibbereen pair defended their Olympic title in style in Paris this morning and have sparked some brilliant celebrations across West Cork and especially in Skibbereen this Friday morning. We're here to react to what is an historic achievement on so many levels. Welcome to the Star Sport podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Mangan, joined by Star Sports editor Kieran McCarthy. The Star Sport podcast is, of course, brought to you in association with our friends at Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, where your bank really does matter. Choose Credit Union, choose local, choose community. So, Kieran, you witnessed Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy defend their Olympic title. They're double Olympic champions. Paul O'Donovan's now 3 Olympic medals, and I think it's probably impossible to overstate what an incredible achievement this is.
The superb what a brilliant morning in Skibbereen. To see Paul and Fintan do what they do best, prove that they're the best in the world again, just absolutely incredible. And to see them bring home gold, like back-to-back Olympic medals, like that's not to be sniffed at. Like that's incredible consistency over the years, and it's very hard to win one Olympic medal, not to mind win Olympic gold, but then to go and defend Olympic gold when you have that pressure and expectation. Because, like we've spoken about it before, Dylan, coming into these games, it's like Paul and Fintan were seen as a banker for a gold medal, but sport is never that easy. If it is, we'd all be at it. We'd all have kind of competing at the top level. There's so many pitfalls and so many things that can go wrong. So for them to, I suppose, carry that pressure and expectation on their back, not look one bit flustered at all, and just do what they do best, I think it's incredibly impressive. And knowing those two fellas, like it's not surprising, because they're two incredible sports people, just with two incredible people as well, who are just able to kind of carry that weight of a nation on their back without even flinching.
Yeah, they have been carrying it without flinching, as you say, but you could still see after the race, obviously it means so much to them, but there was that outpouring of emotion from the both of them, speaking to RT afterwards, but even jumping up and down as they got their medals. Like you could almost see the tension just fall out of them.
Oh, it was brilliant to see them celebrate like that, because at the end of the day, like they love rowing. They really love rowing. They enjoy rowing. That's why they do it. So for them to kind of derive so much fun and satisfaction from it, I think that's key to it, because you have to enjoy what they do to kind of to reach that level, because we're here now for the big moments, the kind of the gold at Olympic medal, at Olympic level, at world level, European level. But it's those winters morning when it's pissing rain outside and it's dark and stuff, and they're up in the NRC training, kind of that's where the kind of the grunt work goes in, that slog, to get them to where they are today. So you need to enjoy it and love it to go through all that. So I think to see them celebrate was brilliant. It really was. And of course, like, they're back-to-back Olympic champions. Like that's incredible. And they're now going to be Olympic lightweight men's double champions forever and ever and ever, for eternity, because it's the last ever Olympic A final in lightweight rowing. So that's this crown can never be taken off them. And if two men deserve that, it's Paul and Fintan.
Yeah, they're probably one of the greatest Irish sports teams of all time. I see you've shared a stat there. In their 11 regattas together since 2019, they've medalled in every single one. So 2 gold Olympic medals, 2 world championship gold medals, 3 world championship gold medals, 2 European Championship gold medals, and a host of medals at the World Cup as well. So they were favourites going in. I know Paul was saying underdogs the whole way. It was a bit more put like an underdog this time out, but they just dominated in the race. And you could see Denise Walsh spoke to you after the race as well, and she said at the 1K mark she knew they had it.
It's like Denise herself has rowed at the highest levels World Championship A finals. She's medalled at European and World Cup regattas in the lightweight single. So she knows a lot better than we do. She knows the signs. She knows what to look out for. And she said, yeah, she goes at the halfway mark. She knew that Paul and Fintan had it. They just looked like, I'm going to go back to the semi-final this week, Dylan. I thought when it's almost they down a marker when they beat the Swiss double that was going so well this year, and they won that kind of with a bit to spare. That was like them saying, we're here, you know, we've turned up this week, you know. Okay, we've had a rocky part earlier in the year, but we mean business this week, and they showed it again today. The Greeks were surprise packet. Like the Greeks were really kind of not in the mix, but that first 1,000 they were really kind of holding their own and stuff. And but you always got the feeling that Paul and Fintan were just going to pull through in that second half of the race. And it's not so much about Paul and Fintan going faster than the other crews in the second half. It's that the other crews just can't sustain that pace, kind of stay on that red line, as Fintan describes it, for as long as Paul and Fintan can. So just to see them with a bit to spare, and we were watching down in the town hall in Skibbereen, the atmosphere was off the charts, and those final couple of 100 meters, people were stamping on the floor, they were up cheering and stuff, and you just knew, you know, it's a great feeling to know they're going to win the race with meters to go. You know, it wasn't on the line. Like, they were emphatic winners, you could say, in terms of an Olympic final. So I think that just adds to their dominance. But they've been the best in the lightweight double for the last couple of years, and they just proved it again at this Olympics.
Yeah, it's interesting. You could definitely see in the town hall for maybe 90 seconds up until they cross the finish line, the atmosphere just building and building and building, and people shouting and dancing, and incredible atmosphere there. And I'm sure there'll be an incredible atmosphere for the rest of the day and into the bank holiday weekend as well. But Kieran, Fintan spoke after the race, saying that we had a rocky enough season. Well, I did. Paul's obviously been consistent as hell throughout the whole year. So it is, while after the fact, it's easy for us all to say, you know, they were bankers for the gold, and we did all expect them to win the gold. But you mentioned the training sessions that they've been putting in. Like, I don't think anyone has trained as hard as they have either.
Yeah, you go back to the start of the year when Fintan, he missed a kind of a shot of training. He was sick, and that's why he missed the European. So by the time Paul and Fintan did get to race internationally together, it was at World Cup 2 in Lucerne, and they didn't have the body of work behind them that they would have liked. And they finished third there, getting a bronze medal, which was kind of quite unusual for these two who are used to the top of the podium. And I think after that race on Instagram, Fintan had some message like the fire is lit, or it's kind of the reality check that we needed, you know. But they knew what they needed to do between Lucerne and Paris to get back to the top of the podium, and they put in the work. Like, it's incredible the volume of training that these two men can do, and that's what separates them from the rest. Is in that's just as well their talent and their ability, but the work that they put into too, you know, is just incredible. So to see them kind of bounce back, well, I wouldn't even say bounce back. They didn't have a great start to the year, but I just think that they have so much confidence still in they know what they can do together. Like, they've done it over the last couple of years. They've won 3 world titles, so they know, like Fintan said before, they know what they have to do to win races and to win the big medals. So it's like they can lean on that experience in weeks like this, and the fact that they have that experience, that they've won all the medals that there is to win before. That's why I don't think they're flustered or phased. You know, whatever happens in a race, they're able to react. They're not going to lose their composure. Like, they're really calm, and I think they've just has innate confidence in their own ability to win. You know, and they know, kind of with the greatest respect to the other crews, they know that they're the best in the field, and I think that's I think the other crews know that too. I really do. I think the other crews know that most of the time when you line up with Paul and Fintan in your race, you're battling for silver and bronze, and that's the reality, and that's down to just how good this double is.
Talk to me a little bit about the legacy that this pair will leave behind. Obviously, you mentioned earlier, it's the end of lightweight rowing at the Olympics, so they will be Olympic champions forever, or reigning Olympic champions forever. But with victory today, Paul had cemented his place as Ireland's greatest ever Olympian. He's the first Irish athlete to medal at 3 separate games. But Fintan also becomes only the 5th Irish athlete to win at 2, or to medal at 2 separate games as well. So truly historic stuff from both of them.
That's exactly it. Like, these two boys have kind of they've raised the kind of the level to the next level altogether. Like, they've gone past Mount Everest in terms of what they've done, in terms of what they've achieved for Irish rowing, and we said it before that it started with Paul and Gary. I think Gary O'Donovan deserves a huge amount of credit for this too, because it was Gary and Paul in the boat back in 2016 when they won that Olympic silver medal, the first time Irish rowers ever won an Olympic medal, and that was thanks to Gary O'Donovan and Paul O'Donovan. And since Fintan got into the boat in 2019, it's moved on again with 2 Olympic gold medals. So these three skip rowers they've transformed Irish rowing in that sense. You know, these 3 Skibbereen men from the same parish of Affadown, what they've done is just incredible for the sport. So their legacy is their legend is assured. They're all legends, you know, kind of already, and they're still what's Fintan's 27, I think Paul is 30. You know, like there's more Olympics for them there if they want it. They'll have to go up into heavyweight, but what's to stop them now? I think they'll have decisions to make after this games. What to do. Los Angeles is 4 years away. Will they dip their toes into the heavyweight pool? I think Paul has hinted before the games that he's going to. Fintan was kind of non-committal. He was kind of saying, okay, let's focus on Paris and we'll have a look at it after. But he might decide to embark on a different chapter of his life, or he might decide, you know what, this is the challenge I want. I'm going to see, can I mix it with heavyweight? It'd be interesting to see how Paul and Fintan will get on in the heavyweight category together, because they've been so dominant in the lightweight. But going back to the original question, yeah, their legacy is assured. What they've achieved. Like, when's the next time we'll see Irish Olympians win back-to-back gold? Okay, Kelly, how would you could actually do it this week? You know, kind of. But it's very rare. You go back to, I think was it Dr. Pat O'Callaghan in 1928, 1932. You know, before this, you know, kind of Paddy Barnes won 2 Olympic medals in Beijing and London. I think they were bronze in boxing in both, but to win back-to-back gold medals, and for Paul to win silver, gold, and gold, like, it just kind of elevates him to the next level. And yeah, Ireland's greatest Olympian, that's without challenge at the moment. And I'm always kind of pushing him for Ireland's greatest ever sports person. You know, kind of people will say Kelly Harrington, they'll say Roy Keane. Every sport will have their own, I think, but just what Paul has done to kind of transform that sport, and what Fintan is doing now beside him is just it's just been incredible to watch, and a real privilege here in the Southern Star in the last couple of years. We really have been spoiled by the success of the Skib Rowers. So okay, the lightweight is gone, but I think there's still more to come in this story.
Yeah, the pair are they're kind of emblematic of Ireland's kind of rise in the Olympics in the last 10 or so years as well, because our best ever medal haul in 2012 was 6. We might pass that this week alone before you start getting athletics and gymnastics medals, and it's kind of incredible. And they kind of seem to be powering everyone else on, in a sense. Like we spoke earlier on in the week about how Daniel Whiffen winning kind of inspires other people to really go for it, and it'll be the same for the 2 of these. And just talk to me a little bit as well about Skibbereen Rowing Club and their role in this. Obviously, it's well documented at this stage. They're Ireland's best or greatest rowing club, most successful. Aoife Casey, of course, also in an Olympic final today, with Mags Cremin coming 5th, which is a brilliant performance from the pair of those as well. So if Skibbereen wasn't the home of Irish rowing before, which it was, but it definitely is now.
That is kind of, it's this club is just incredible. Like, it's hard to put into words the impact that Skibbereen Rowing Club has had on Irish rowing. You look at all the Olympic rowing medals won since 2016, thanks to that breakthrough silver by Gary and Paul. The success of Philip Doyle and Darragh Lynch yesterday, they got bronze. That was the first and still only medaling Irish Olympic boat that didn't have a Skibbereen rower in it. All the others have. We've had Fintan and Paul twice in the Irish men's lightweight double. We had Paul and Gary in the lightweight double back in 2016, and Irish women's 4 that won bronze in Tokyo 3 years ago. Emily Hegarty was in that boat. So that just goes to show you the impact that Skibbereen rowers have had on Irish rowing, and that's at Olympic level, not to mind what they've kind of snaffled up at World, European and World Cup gold. And then Dominic Casey, of course, like he's a Skibbereen man as well. He's the coach of the lightweight the Irish lightweight rowers. So the impact he's had has been incredible. And it all kind of comes back down to this club on the bank of the Island River. You know, this rural country rowing club that was set up in 1970, had its first international rower in Newell Upton, I think was 1975. And look what it's gone on to achieve since. It's the most successful rowing club in the country, 199 national titles. And they've won, and that's right, 199 national titles. In recent years, there's been no Paul, Fintan, Emily, Aoife, because some of them have been rowing with UCC when they have been around. A lot of the time when the nationals are on, it's during the summer, and they're kind of gearing up for whatever international regatta there is. So how many national titles could Skib have if they had the whole band together all the time? It's just mind-boggling. But this club has helped transform Irish rowing. It's raised expectations. It's taken it to a different level. And like you've said before, it's all about the people. It really is about the people out in Skibbereen. These incredible volunteers, the coaches, and we see it at the top level, okay, with the likes of Dominic Casey, but kind of just bring it right back down to the juniors, the likes of Niamh Casey, Denise Walsh, who's a driving force out there now, TJ Ryan, Shawnee O'Brien, Emily Delore. There are so many different people involved in this club who've been just kind of keeping it going from strength to strength to strength. And it's all about, and it should be now about the success of the Skib rowers at the highest level. But there's rowers that have gone to the Coop, there's Skib rowers going to the World under 23s, so there's a conveyor belt underneath too, which is quite exciting as well. So it's just an incredible club.
Yeah, we're in celebration mode here in Star HQ and in Skibbereen and across West Cork as well. Just before I finish up, there was a great stat from the Central Statistics Office, Kieran. 1 in 725 people from Skibbereen are competing at the Paris 2024 Olympics, compared with a national rate of almost 1 in 39,000. So that kind of just illustrates the point you're making there, that this is an incredible club. It's an incredible area, and it's a golden era for sport in West Cork as well. We still have plenty more to come from the Olympics. Obviously, that's it for the rowing, but Phil Healy will be in action. Nicola Tuttle will be in action as well over the coming days. So the Southern Star is the place to keep up to date with everything West Cork related at the Olympics. Of course, next Thursday, Kieran, on August 8th, we'll have all of the local reaction and reviews from an incredible day for Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy at the Olympics. We are going to sign off now. That's it from us today. As always, if you're further afield and can't make it to the shops, head to subscribe.southernstar.ie, enter your details to get an exact replica of the newspaper for less than €2 per week. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to subscribe. So as always, thanks for listening to the Star Sport podcast, and thanks again to our sponsors at Access Credit Union. Please remember to rate, review and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you have enjoyed this, we'll be back again very shortly. Thanks for listening.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.